Welcome to the Don't Get Fooled Show with Big Red Ace NFL Week 13. Let's go, Ace.
All right, boys and girls, NFL Week 13. Big Ree cannot wait for the last 6 weeks of the season, especially this week. We got NFL on Thursday, NFL on Friday. So nothing like waking up on Thanksgiving morning, boys and girls. 3 games on Thursday. We got the 1 game on Black Friday on Friday, and then we got all day Sunday and then Monday. So cannot wait. And so without further ado, here we go, boys and girls. Aquí vamos, chicos y chicas. Let's go. All right, game 1. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are a 9.5-point favorite. Las Vegas coming off a 24-10 loss to Cleveland. They are currently on a 5-game losing streak, and they've lost 9 of their last 10 games. Their only win was versus New England in Week 1, 2013, and then a 2010 win versus Tennessee. Offense looks complete trash. Looks horrible. They fired offensive coordinator Chip Kelly this week. And they did lose 20-9 versus the Chargers in Week 2. All right, then we got the Chargers, 7-4, coming off a 35-6 loss to Jacksonville prior to the bye week. Snapped a 3-game winning streak. And this is just a very, very inconsistent team. Some weeks they look really good. Some weeks they look like crap. A lot of injuries, especially to the O-line, the receiving core, and so just very inconsistent. And obviously, I think they had that long bye week to really dwell on that complete spanking they got by Jacksonville, 35-6. The Raiders are done. I mean, the Raiders, after you lose to Cleveland at home with Shedeur Sanders as the QB, you are completely done. I mean, completely done. Don't get fooled, boys and girls. I'm taking the Chargers minus 9.5. All right, game 2. We got the San Francisco 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. The Niners are a 6-point favorite. San Francisco coming off a 20-9 win versus Carolina. Sloppy game, but their defense played well. There's, I think, total of 5 turnovers in this game. Defense looked good, came up with some big interceptions against Bryce Young. Brock Purdy is back and healthy. And then we got Cleveland, who is 3-8. They're coming off a 24-10 win versus the Raiders, as I just went over. Shedeur Sanders got the win in his first start, 11 for 20, 209 yards, 1 touchdown. Only 1 interception, snapped a 3-game losing streak for Cleveland. And here's my thoughts here. First of all, the Raiders are really bad. And they beat the Raiders, but the Raiders are really bad. Shedeur Sanders, he had a, as expected game on the road for a rookie in his first start, but he had, out of those 309 yards, out of those 209 yards, 3 passes accounted for about 158 yards there. So that means the rest of those other throws, 8 other throws, are about 40 yards. Look, the Niners have a completely different defense. They are at another level with the Raiders. This is going to be a really, really long game for Shedeur Sanders. I think they're going to completely eat him up. The Niners are going to put up 30 points in this game. This is my lock of the week, boys and girls. I'm taking the Niners minus 6. All right, game 3. We got the Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are a 7-point favorite here. Chicago, 8-3, coming off a 31-28 win versus Pittsburgh. This was a good game. They were down at half and came back and won this game. They are on a 4-game winning streak, and they have won 8 of their last 9 games. Their only loss during that stretch, 30-16 to Baltimore in Week 8. Caleb Williams, 59% completion, 2,568 yards, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the season. And Philadelphia, 8-3, coming off a 24 21 loss to Dallas. They were up 21-0 with 11 minutes left in the second quarter and then just dropped an egg from there on. They got outgained 473 to 339. Snapped a 4-game winning streak for Philadelphia. Both teams obviously have good records at 8-3. Both teams I feel are going in different directions. The Bears are on fire at 8-1. Philadelphia, they have just honestly could have even lost their last 3 games. I don't know what's going on. Kind of reminds me of the 2023 season of Philadelphia when they started 10-1 and then they ended 1-5 and they got bounced out by, I believe, Tampa Bay in the playoffs and they looked like complete crap. Look, I think I actually like Philadelphia to win this game, but I don't think they're going to cover here. I think they're at home. I think they're going to get the win, but I think, the Bears are a good team. I think they're going to keep it close. And that's just because Philadelphia, there's some major issues going on. You got A.J. Brown, he's complaining about stuff. That's another issue. There's obviously some inner fighting between him, Saquon Barkley. I think Nick Sirianni's a fluke, and everybody knows that within the players know that. And I think there's a lot more that just we're not seeing on the outside. And so I'm taking the Bears +7. All right, Big Ree, let's go.
All right, the first game I got is the Bengals at the Ravens, Thanksgiving Day. Bengals coming off a 26-20 loss to the Patriots. Ravens coming off a 23-10 win versus the Jets. The Bengals look pretty good versus the Jets, even though they lost. The Ravens did not look good versus the Jets, though they did score. The score shows 23-10. They had a garbage time field goal, which they really shouldn't have after the Jets turned it over on downs in their own territory. The big news here is quarterback Joe Burrow is returning this week, and they are getting wide receiver Jamar Chase back from suspension. Joe Flacco played okay. I mean, he didn't do that good. Chase Brown had a big game, 19 carries, 104 yards. Joe Burrow was a full participant in practice today. Lamar Jackson did not practice, but Coach Harbaugh said he's fine. Key points here. The Bengals game last week was in Cincinnati. T. Higgins is in concussion protocol. We don't know what percentage Joe Burrow's at, if he's going to be 70%, 80%. This guy's not 100%, that's for sure. And this is in Baltimore. Everyone's going to be hyped over Joe Burrow coming back and Jamar Chase. And one other good point to mention here, the Bengals defense is awful. And the Ravens defense is not that good either, but I think this will be high scoring and the Ravens cover pretty easily. I think Lamar is going to have a big day, so I'm taking the Ravens -7. The next game I got is the Monday night football game. I got the Giants at the Patriots. Giants are coming off a 34-27 loss to the Lions. Pats coming off a 26-20 win versus the Bengals. Giants played a lot better than the score looked at. They were up 3 with about 2 minutes to go and don't kick a field goal. Just a bonehead move there. While the Patriots struggled versus the Bengals on the road. Both teams were on the road last week and one team is at home. The Patriots play better at home and they have a much better defense than the Lions. I'm taking the Patriots -7.5. The last game I got is the Texans at the Colts. Texans coming off an upset win on Thursday night, 23-19 versus the Bills. Colts coming off a 23-20 loss in overtime versus the Chiefs. Texans look great overall. Besides the first touchdown, it was 7-0 Buffalo, and the rest was just Houston the whole way. And Colts played amazing versus the Chiefs, even though they lost this game. They look great all game, and you can never count out Kansas City until the game's over. So that was that game. Here are my points there. Buffalo has a terrible defense. Colts have a much, much better defense. Colts are at home. Jonathan Taylor had one of the worst games of the season, and that won't happen again. Colts will bounce back here, and I'm taking the Colts -4.5. That's my lock of the week.
Woo-hoo! All right. Cannot wait, Big Ree. Want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving from Big Green Ace.
Eat up. Don't worry about the scale.
Yeah.
Eat good. Eat those desserts. Eat that pie. And, you know, we'll see you guys next week for week 14.